back to my channel. My name is Addie, and today I'm going to be doing my February wrap-up and tell you about all the books that I read in February. If you watched my January wrap-up, you know that I had an amazing month. I read like 20, high teens. I read a lot of books, but I did not follow up that month with that same level of success. First off, it's a shorter month. So I'm telling myself that to make myself feel better. What else was, I started school, so that kind of, you know, set me off a little bit. I went through a little bit of a slump at the beginning of the month, so there was like a week, I lost like a week of reading, so, you know, it wasn't a great month for me, but that's okay. Not every month can be amazing, and I'll try and do better in March, see how it goes. I read 8 books in February, which is still pretty good in like the grand scheme of things. It's just like not very good for me. So I read on average around like 10 to 12 books a month. This is a little lower, but and last month was like insanely higher. So I'm hoping for March I can get somewhere in like a happy medium, back to my average, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, this is gonna be a shorter video because I didn't read as much, so I'll just get on right to it. So the first book I read in February was a photo finish by Elsie Silver, because I read Off to the Races, which is the first one in this series, in January, because that's kind of like what I ended the month on. I rated this book 4 stars. I liked it way better than the first one. Because I love Elsie Silver so much, and because I loved Flawless and Heartless. It was like Flawless was one of my 5-star reads of January, and Off to the Races I didn't love, so I was kind of disappointed, but this kind of had that Elsie Silver vibe that I was, you know, looking for. It followed Cole and Violet, and it was such a good story. There was age gap, they met, it was kind of a second chance, low-key, because they previously met online, and then she met him at her job and was like, oh, she ghosted him and was like, oh crap. So anyway, they had that going and it was really good. I really liked the main girl. She was such a sweetheart, and yeah, so this was a pretty strong start to the month, but I don't know why it left. I started the third one after this, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just had zero desire to keep going with it at the time. So I put it down and I read a lot of other books until I finished the series. Part of the reason I put it down was because I had my book club book of the month. I had to read was The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. I read this for Valentine's Day. It is a YA contemporary romance. It was the perfect Valentine's Day read. It was sweet, it was funny. It just it left me feeling overall better about the world for like 5 minutes. So, you know, it did its job. It's kind of a Groundhog Day situation. It's about this girl named Emily who is really excited for the perfect Valentine's Day with her perfect boyfriend, and then she gets all ready, she's so excited, and then everything that goes wrong on this Valentine's Day just goes wrong. Like every possible thing that could go wrong. And then she wakes up the next day and it happens all over again. And so she's kind of stuck in this loop and she's trying to figure out how to get out of it. And then there's this one, her love interest is Nick, and Nick is such a good book boyfriend. He's hilarious. He kind of annoyed me towards the end, but you know, he redeemed himself, so it was okay. It was just very sweet. So as a YA contemporary, it's a lot of fluff, but that's what I wanted for my Valentine's Day read. So I rated this 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then, you know, sometimes the mood strikes me for a thriller. Sometimes I just want like a really good thriller. So I went to Alice Feeney. I let my mom the book after, and I have not seen it since. So I don't have the book physically with me right now. but I'll just put a picture of it. I read I Know Who You Are by Alice Feeney. It was my first Alice Feeney book, which is crazy because like I feel like I'm so easily influenced. She's been literally everywhere, and I don't know why I didn't read Rock Paper Scissors first. I think something about the cover was just speaking to me. It was just the girl with the red lipstick. It was the vibe I was feeling at the time. So I went with it, and it left me not knowing how to feel. It's the best way to describe it. I see what they mean when Alice Feeney is really good at those plot twists, because it was crazy. Like, I did not see that one coming. I was shocked. Hello. She always wants to be in the frame. Yeah, I was literally speechless when it happened, which bumped up its rating for me, honestly, because my mind was going this way, and then Alice Feeney took me this way, and I feel like I don't get that with a lot of thrillers, so that bumped up the rating. It follows this woman named Amy Sinclair, and she's this famous actress, and she gets home one day and her husband, can you not? She gets home and her husband is missing, but all of his stuff is still there and they don't know where he is, and some stuff about him starts to unravel. The police think she killed him, and so yeah, it goes kind of towards down that path. Girl. And then it's kind of like a dual timeline situation, so then it shows like her childhood and like some traumatic events that went down in her when she was a kid, and so we kind of get a dual timeline of that. And I really like dual timelines because I don't know, I feel like not a lot of people like them because a lot of people get bored. People say they get bored in one and just want to go back to the other, which I totally get, but like, and I totally see that, and especially if it's not done right, I don't like it, but like I do like, it keeps me from getting bored in just one, you know? Why only have one when you can have two? But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a fast read. I read that one pretty quickly. It's pretty short. Yeah, and I rated it 4 stars. And then the best part of my month, I read Mile High and The Right Move by Liz Tomford. When I tell you these are literally the best books, like romances I've ever read, like I am not exaggerating. So I'm gonna, especially this one. So I'm gonna talk about this one for a minute, but then I'm gonna get into The Right Move. So this book follows Stevie and Xander's, and it's a hockey romance. She's a flight attendant. He is a hockey player on her plane, and it's like an enemies to lovers. He likes to torment her. It was so good. Guys, this book like saved my reading month for me. It like, these books got me out of my slump. Like, because before this I was just kind of reading because I was like, what else am I gonna, like, I didn't really want to be, I just knew I kind of had to be, but these made me like want to read. I rated this 4.75 stars, and originally it was a 5, but I had to lower it because just of how amazing this was, because this is a 5-star read. Like, holy shit, like, this was so good. It's one of those books that makes me question all of my other ratings that I have on Goodreads, because I'm like, if this is a 5-star, I need to lower so many 5 stars I've had before this, because a 5-star is like a feeling, you know, you get, and this one, it gave me that feeling, and I feel like I really do need to go back to my Goodreads, because this one's just so good. I annotate only my 5-star reads, so I need to go back and do that, and I'm really excited to do that. If you guys want to see a video of like how I annotate, because now I have a 5-star read to do it on, let me know and I will film my process of that. But oh my god, this book was so good. It was just like, oh. It follows Ryan and Indy, and Ryan is an NBA player and Indy's a flight attendant. She's Stevie's best friend, and Ryan is Stevie's brother from the first book. And so basically Indy's boyfriend of like 7 years cheats on her, and she needs a place to live, and Stevie's like, why don't you move in with my brother? Because she really wants her to stay in Chicago, and because she's her best friend, but like if not, she'll have to move to Florida and be with her parents. And Ryan is like, no, nuh-uh, I don't want someone in my space. I don't vibe with that. She's made like some pretty bad first impressions on him, so he's like, I don't know. But then he's promoted as like team captain on his NBA team, and he realizes his team manager is not his biggest fan, and to get him on his good side, he realizes he needs a girlfriend. And who steps in? My girl Indy here. And this is the best fake dating romance, confidently I could say, I've ever read. It was so perfectly done. I think I literally like sat down and read this for 6 hours. I ignored all my other responsibilities that I had that day just so I could finish this book, and I have zero regrets about it. I could talk about this book all day long. And this one, honestly, this one was amazing too. It was just like I was so amazed by this book. I just, you know, and then I read this one and I was like, oh my gosh, it got better. Like, I don't even know how that's possible. So please read these. These are so amazing. This is how romance is supposed to be written. I love them so much. And then I went from a 5-star to a 1-star. I read Tell Me Lies by Cruella Loverley, and it is my first DNF of the year. Honestly, it wasn't the book. It wasn't, well, it was the book. Because I don't feel like bashing it too bad, because I don't necessarily even think it was a badly written book or a bad book by any means. I just think, like, for me personally, it made me really uncomfortable. I stopped because it just, like, you know, like when a book just like makes you feel like kind of sick, and like kind of like, I don't know, after you read it you feel like you're done with your reading session, you feel a little icky. Like, that's how I felt. And like, it's about Lucy and Steven, and Lucy goes to college and she meets Steven, and it just kind of goes through like their incredibly toxic relationship. And I don't mind toxic. Like, I love some toxic relationships, as you can probably tell by some of my favorite books. But this was just, like, it was just not good. Like, Steven is the most manipulative man I have ever, like, toxic. And the worst part is, he wasn't even that cute. Like, she had to convince herself that she was attracted to him before even giving him a chance. And then he treats her like dog shit. Which, if that's not the most real thing I've ever read in my life, maybe that's why I felt like I was gonna throw up, because that is just too real. So, I don't know, I'm probably not gonna watch the show, because I was gonna read it so I could watch the TV show, but I don't think I want to relive any of that. I stopped around like 1:30-ish. So I guess it was a 1. I didn't rate it because I didn't finish it, so I feel like that's not fair, but like, it's a 1-star. If I would have finished it, it would have been a 1-star. There was no way it was going to redeem itself. But yeah, it was just, I felt not good while reading it. Also, if you are going to read it, and like, if you want incredibly toxic, by all means, I think you'd enjoy it. But like, please look up trigger warnings, because I didn't, and that was a mistake, because that was part of the reason for some of the icky feelings I was getting from it. So don't go into this blind like I did. And then after that, I was like, you know what? Now it's time to pull back this series, because I needed something I knew I was gonna like. Some safe options. It might not be my favorite, but some safe options. And this I knew was safe. So I read The Frontrunner by L.C. Silver. This is the third book in the Gold Rush Ranch series. This one might be my favorite out of them, even though I literally like stopped reading here and then didn't pick it up till the end of the month. But after I got it, these books, like, I really do enjoy their pacing, but like the first 100 pages pretty much any romance book. I just kind of do it so I can get towards the middle. She writes the middles of her books so good. So I think once I got to the middle, I already had like a jump start, so once I got there it was really good. This one followed Stefan and Mira, and Mira is the Gold Rush Ranch vet, and Stefan he's public enemy number one for all the people on Gold Rush Ranch, like with Mira's, all of Mira's friends. But then she starts working on his farm a little bit, and she starts to realize, you know, maybe he's not so awfully bad. But yeah, so basically he wants to take her on, he throughout like the series, he's like continuously asked her on dates. She thinks it's a joke. She's like, no. but like, he's not really joking that much. But so basically it's like, as a favor, he does her a favor, and he's like, well, in exchange I want 3 dates. And we saw how those 3 dates go. But it was really good. It was really sweet. I rated this 4 stars, probably around 4.25. I'm not sure on the rating. It's around there. But yeah, I really liked it. And then we have A False Start by Elsie Silver. This is the last book in the series. I frantically read it it's March 1st now. I was frantically reading it last night, so I could put this in the February wrap up. But I did finish it, so it did at 11:30 on February 28th. So it counts for February. But yeah, this one was really good too. I think it was just the first one that I had like feelings on, but like, you know, that was her first book, so I don't think it's fair of me to judge it too harshly. So this one follows Stefan's little sister and his best friend, and this is a pretty big age gap, so if you're uncomfortable with that, I would not read this, but I didn't really mind it. So this one basically follows them two. They had like one interaction. They met at a bar when like 2 years before the book actually starts, so they go into that, and then he's back working on Gold Rush Ranch, and 2 years later, and she's like, oh. So yeah, this was just kind of their like forbidden romance. It was really good. This one was a little bit like, it wasn't as fluffy as the rest of them. This one was a little bit heavier, not by a lot. Like, it was still like a cute it was still like a sweet romance, but like it was just a little deeper and heavier than the other two, which was fine with me. I didn't mind that. But the vibes of this one was definitely different from the rest of them. And I gave this 4 stars. So I think the front runner is definitely 4.25 because I liked it a little better. So this one's definitely solid 4. Well, those are all the books that I read in February. I feel like I didn't talk for very long. Like, I was rushing on the January one, and now I like got to relax, take my time. It was kind of nice. But I definitely want to do better next month. Let's see if I can get to 10 books next month, and I'll come back and see where I am then, but I kind of doubt I'm gonna get it, but we'll see. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favorite book was this month. Mine was The Right Move, obviously, so let me know what yours is. I need some recs to keep me from getting back in a slump. I hope you guys had a great month, and I hope you guys have a great week. I will see you soon. Bye!